Hey, what's going on, man? It is your girl, TampaMystic, and we are live. Where are we at? The
Industries
big one.
most wanted.
Industry's most wanted, the big one, not the little one, man. Shout out to IAMBORNKING checking in from New York. What's going on, family? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Everything is good, Mystic. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm alive. It's all good.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Most definitely. Well, listen, bro, I definitely appreciate you, giving us some of your time tonight. I know you out here grinding, you working. But give us a brief introduction of what you want the world to know about you, and then we're going to dive in.
I go by the name of I Am Born King. I'm definitely one of our times. The best writers of our time. You know what I'm saying? I would say so. I'm very great at my artistry and my craft, and I just really want to touch as many lives as I possibly can on my journey.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. That's super dope, man. Well, again, I appreciate you being here tonight. So you've been professionally doing music. You've been doing music for a while, but on the professional level for about a year and a half now. Is that correct?
Um, Yeah, I want to say maybe a little longer than that. Maybe about professionally, just trying to give a go at like really marketing the music and learning about um the most intricate parts of it. I'm gonna say about 3 years
Got
roughly.
you. Got you. Most definitely. So, Brooklyn birthed you. Am I saying that right? Brooklyn birthed you?
Nah, you said it right. Exactly that. Yeah, yeah. Brooklyn birthed me, born and
Okay, most
raised.
definitely. So, we as, people in this music industry, especially hip hop, Brooklyn has also birthed a lot of the greats in hip hop. How did that environment growing up, in the great city of Brooklyn inspire you to want to do music?
Man, just really like saying that, like a lot of legends, a lot of iconic figures of our time and in the past, and that we lost along the way, and even the greatest rapper of all time, Jay-Z. I mean, you can't. It's undeniable. The reach, right? So it's just like it's knowing those guys actually, watching their journey coming up, and then seeing where they are today that has always been a motivating factor. So it's just like home pride. It's like, your team playing at home. So it's just like when you see your teammates playing at home and you see them doing so well, it's inspirational. It makes you feel like you could do the same thing. It's like being from Brooklyn is like being one of the nicest ever type vibe. So I love it.
Absolutely. And I
I
heard
live
you
it.
you referenced Jay-Z as being one of the greatest. What do you feel it is about him? Because we know he's a business mogul. We know he's a husband, a father, a great lyricist. But what is it about him to you that really stands out and makes you feel like he's the greatest of all time?
Um the Really, I mean, aside from the versatility as just being a project kid from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, Marcy Projects, it's just his ability to transcend through time and really be a timeless figure. Like it
Mm.
doesn't matter what he's doing. And that is amazing. That kind of gives you superhero vibes after a while. People look at you like, the best things in sliced bread. So yeah, I think it's just really, yeah, that for him.
I love you said it gives zero superhero vibes. I'm loving that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Most
Right.
definitely. So, your sound really like it blends like melodic street vibes, along with, of course, a lot of wordplay. How do you balance, we'll say, vulnerability, but still kind of keep some of that toughness in your music?
He funny. Well, I think, I think, I think whatever seems tough about it is just really like that part of being from Brooklyn, because that's just really the culture, right? You develop a rough exterior to have to live in certain conditions. And those are the kind of the rough edges you have to like scrape off on your journey when you're trying to move in different rooms. But at the same time, so I guess some vulnerability comes into play where I'm a man. I could be in touch with who I am. I've been through some situations I don't have to glorify, and I don't really have to prove that I'm a man's man. But as men, we have vulnerable moments. Men, thugs cry, what I'm saying? What I mean? And things like that. So I like to show who I am as a person as opposed to how people might view me.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you said what you just said because, right now, June is Men's Mental Health Month, and I'm a big advocate for mental health. And I'm a big advocate for letting men know that it is okay to show those emotions sometimes because I know a lot of men were brought up in a household where they were told, don't cry, you got to be tough, toughen up, and it was difficult for them to show their emotions growing up. So they brought that into their adulthood as well.
Right, right, absolutely. That is a big situation. Wearing the mask all the time, it gets hot under there.
Be sweating bullets under that. But for real, like, and I mean, speaking from a woman's perspective, and maybe it's because I'm a mother and, I'm nurturing, I feel like to me, it makes a young man more of a man to be a little bit vulnerable because you don't care what the rest of the world thinks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
two people get caught up in if they're going to judge me, who cares?
right, right, right. It's true. It's true. Because at the end of the day, no one's gonna live your life but you. Everybody's gonna have an opinion about things, but you have to actually go through the motions. So it's just independent to the individual. You do what's best for you moving
Yes.
forward. If you can show that vulnerable side of yourself and not compromise your manhood and have a healthy balance. Well, I'm not to say you would compromise your manhood, but feel like you're compromising it. You know, you you have a healthy balance because we have to purge. We have to let things out. We can't hold things in. We can't have too many things going on. You have to get rid of some of the garbage. So it's necessary just being human.
Yes, absolutely. Because that human element be kicking in and doing its thing. So is music your outlet?
Absolutely, for a long time it was. It was my outlet. It was my way to you know you know express that emotion. And when I learned that I could actually evoke the same type of emotion in people from doing it, it made it different. Like it's something that was meant for me to do.
Absolutely. It truly becomes like that form of therapy, for a lot of people because we all need an outlet to pour that emotion into rather than, like you said, keeping it inside. So definitely. And you've had a lot of success. You're still seeing a lot of success during your time. So let's, pop your ish for a second. You've performed at the, well known SOBs, the Barclays Center, of course, South by Southwest, all which are like huge milestones. Which of those moments, like on stage specifically, hit you the hardest?
I'm gonna say South by Southwest, Austin, Texas showed a lot of love. It's different when you go out of town, man. I hate to say this. I'm from New York, best side do or die. I love my hometown, but when you go other places, it seems like people might appreciate what you have to offer more because there's not so much access to it. You know, it's like appreciating appreciating things that don't come as easy because there's so much competition in New York, and we getting the same type of music all the time from the same type of people, and it's just that. But when you go out of town, they love it a little differently. You can feel it, and and it's dope. The
No,
vibes
absolutely. Especially when you went from up top to like down south, It's yeah,
way
you
down.
kind of don't
Yeah,
know
it was
what to
crazy.
expect, but that is super dope. And I was kind of sad to hear that they put the announcement out that this may be the last year for South by Southwest, which I
Yeah.
completely understand why, if you really take a deep dive, because so many people who are not actually a part of South by Southwest are profiting thousands of dollars off of that name and they're not a part of it. Because all these events are not official South by Southwest events that are taking place. You know what I'm saying?
It's true because it leads to other, and that explains why it leads to other things. Because the year I was down there, I believe we were outside a venue, and we went to another venue, and on our way because I did like six
Mm,
stages, and when we went to the other venue, I think it was probably the third or fourth. A fight broke out outside and like four people got shot. It was the year that four people
yeah.
got shot during South by Southwest. And it was crazy because maybe those unverified vendors, you know what I'm saying, and venues might have lent a hand to that, not having people that probably weren't supposed to be there.
Absolutely. And it's
You know,
sad because, overall, it's a great opportunity for, independent artists to really, platform their or get on a platform to showcase their talent. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with it because I mean, out here in Atlanta, they had an event for many, many years called A3C. It was a very well known hip hop festival. It just
yes,
disappeared. Like for whatever reason, it just didn't show up. Nothing for this year. Like
uh,
it usually happens around like September. I haven't heard nothing about it. They haven't posted nothing about it. I'm like, dang, that's kind of sad because I used to look forward to it coming to the city every year because I would go and attend
right.
yeah. So it's kind of crazy, but I guess that's we gotta. That's the times. Also, too, you've collaborated with some legends. Mano being one of them, along with some others. Let's talk about that. How do you feel that collaborating with some of these legends in the business that people, have known for so long, how does that help enhance what you already have going on?
Well, I mean, it's really just all about marketing in any situation. That was early on in my.
Oh, hold on. Your audio is kind of cutting in and out. Your audio is like kind of cutting in and out a little bit. Yeah, I can't hear you. It sounds kind of robotic. Try to go out and come back in. Okay, JC Rocker over here trying to correct me. It's September, October, somewhere in there, but either way, there's nothing online about it. All right. Say
How about
something.
now? How
Okay,
about
that's
now?
better.
All
Yeah, I
right.
think I can hear you better.
It's a
It's
little
still
choppy,
like a
but
little cracky. Yeah, but we're gonna
yeah,
get through it.
we're gonna work it out. All right. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of that, I learned a lot of things that I didn't know prior to that. In terms of how things work with when you're working with celebrities and well-known people, and being somebody on the come up, just trying to come up through the ranks and be noticed. Um, I would say it may have gave me a little more visibility from people who might not have otherwise looked or paid attention.
Mm.
Um, no matter how my numbers looked at the time. So I say that maybe it gave me a little more visibility, just being able to market it and put it out there, regardless of whether the other parties actually help you market the situation, because that's the part of it that you need to learn as an artist coming up. When you're dealing with well knowns, you need them to market it as much or have it structured in a deal for them to market it as well as you might be marketing it to get that real push.
That is facts, and that's a great point that you pointed out is that when you're an artist, if you pay for a feature from a big artist, you can't always expect that they're going to post it on their Instagram. Like there's usually an additional fee for that. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
but just to have that stamp, because I feel like not all of them, but some artists will take money just to put a few bucks in their pocket. But people like Mano, who's been doing this for a long
nah,
time.
it's legit. Yeah.
He's gonna listen to your record and say, "No, nah, I'm not jumping on that because if it's not good, it's gonna jeopardize the integrity of his brand." So shout out to Mano, man, for sure.
Absolutely, they definitely helped out in a big way. He took a chance where I'm not a well-known artist. I don't really have a big fan base, and he took a chance because he didn't have to attach himself to that. So that's how I always look at it. You know,
Absolutely, 100%. And just quickly, shout out to everybody tuning in on YouTube. We're live streaming on 2 Facebook pages. We're live streaming on Twitch. We're live streaming on Instagram. Of course, we're here on YouTube. So, shout out to everybody in the chat. If you guys are tuned in, wherever you're tuned in, love you too, JC Rocker. That's my girl right there. She's a fire artist. Yeah, definitely shout out to everybody tuned in. We got I Am Born King straight out of Brooklyn, New York. You know
right,
what
right,
I'm
right. Know
saying?
that.
Definitely. So I want to take it to the personal side for just a moment because you've lived through definitely through some trauma from being shot to wrongly convicted, losing family, but you're still rising with all these traumas that you've endured. How does that become your why in music, if that makes sense? Like why you pursue it?
Well, like you said, it was always therapy, right? And it's like, um, it was like a place to run where it was when there was nowhere to go, or maybe all the bridges were burned. I just felt hopeless,
Yeah.
is just my go-to. And being that I put myself in this position to try to, compete against or in an industry, I only see it fit to take that pain and use it to propel what it is that I set out to do. You know, it's like the only it's like the only thing to do when I've dealt with the things that I've dealt with in my life. So that's just where I am. I refuse to lay down and die, so I had to pick it up and keep pushing and keep moving no matter what.
I got you 100%. And that's what we got to do, man. Like, life be throwing them curveballs sometimes, and we just have to figure out ways to push through that. What would the you in prison say to the you right now who's out there hitting stages, doing interviews? What would you say to yourself?
Ah, um, I'm glad you gave yourself a chance, man. You know, because being in that situation, it's people that were out there with you before you went in, they give up on you sometimes. The people that are in there don't want you to win. You know what I'm saying? And all you have is you, and you never know if you're gonna make it through or make it out. So that will to make it through and make it out and push forward and do what I had to do there to get here, to do what I need to do here is what came from just
Oh, we lost him for a second. Someone probably called him. That's what be happening sometimes. They be in the middle. Like, did we get? Was someone calling you? Your audio's acting silly again. Try to go out and come back in. We here. We're gonna let him go out and come back in, so we want to make sure we can hear what he's saying loud and clear. So y'all stand by. And his Instagram is scrolling across the screen. So if you're not following him already, make sure you guys follow him. It's listed at the bottom of the screen. So go follow him on IG. And hopefully he's able to get back in just a second. Shout out to everybody tuned in, checked in. It's your girl, TampaMystic, industry's most wanted. We're doing a virtual interview tonight. Of course, you guys know that I do live in-person interviews as well. So, yeah. But he's in Brooklyn, New York, so we're making it happen. We're making it do what it do. We're going to give him another minute to get logged back in. But yeah, going back to the A3C thing, I haven't seen nothing posted about this year, sadly. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if they're still doing it or if they're just taking it to another city. All right, I think we got him. We got him. Bite. Give me just a second. Okay, boom, you in the building?
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Your audio is still like, I don't know. Yeah, your audio is still kind of crackling and messing up. We got to make sure we hear him loud and clear. Maybe because he's not connected to Wi-Fi. Sometimes when you're not on Wi-Fi, it's harder to live stream. Yeah, it's probably because he's not on Wi-Fi. It's really difficult to live stream when you're not connected to Wi-Fi. So hopefully we can get through this for y'all. In the meantime, y'all can just stare at me. Industry's most wanted. Make sure y'all subscribe. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube while you're right there. All right, go ahead and say something. Let's see if we can hear you good. Yeah, I can't hear you at all. Mm-mm. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know what happened when he was doing good and then the screen blacked out. I don't know if he got a. Sometimes when people call you in the middle of live stream, it messes up your video and your audio. I think we got you now.
Think so?
Yeah,
Yeah, my phone. I don't know. My
it's
phone.
probably because you're not connected to Wi-Fi. Sometimes it's really difficult to live stream video when you're not on
Oh,
Wi-Fi. Yeah, but it's
uh,
all good. Listen, I'm patient. We're gonna get through this.
I appreciate it. I really do.
Of course, absolutely. So, also, outside of music, you're active in the stock market and you're building a sunglasses and children's like glasses line. What inspired you to take the initiative to develop brands outside of music?
Because music isn't a guarantee, of course. It's like one in a billion chance now, and I experienced different like changes in music. So now we're in a digital era where it's more like content based. It's more based on popularity. It's more based on how much you can run around and produce what people want to see. And before, I know it's I know where like they would just pull up on you on corners and in the street, and if they heard your name enough, they give you a shot at a record deal. So I just say that to say that the times changing, it brings even more uncertainty in the game. But if you have a passion and a love for it, you keep doing it like me, and you keep pushing, to find your angle, because it's never too late, it's never too early. But it's just that it's just uncertain. It's a lot more competition. It's a lot more sharks in the water, and you just can't really put all your eggs in that basket. So
That's fact, especially in today's economy. We like in a whole recession, right?
right.
It's hard out here for a pimp, like
Word up.
for real. So it's like we slick have to be like Jamaicans. Like they always say, Jamaicans have like 100 different jobs.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Especially
We,
living in New York, the cost of living very
woo,
high. You need like two and three jobs just to make ends meet sometimes. So you have to have an extra hustle. That's a fact.
and it's crazy because the people always the American dream. I'm like, this is the American dream, having to work like 30 hours a day when we only got 24 in the day. Like, make it make sense. I don't know. Maybe we should all
Right.
just pack and move somewhere else.
I, no, no. Only Americans, only Americans dream of that, I guess.
But no, exactly, 100%. So, you're also a father. How did fatherhood change your perspective on how you move in the world?
How did it change my
Of how you
perspective?
move in the world, like, because
Oh, 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 oh. Oh yeah, I mean, not to sound cliche, but karma is like, and not that we always follow that old adage, about karma and it coming back to you, but with three girls, it kind of softens your heart to a lot of things that you might not have had that same type of feeling for before, and it kind of makes you like, all right, I got to be more graceful in my journey because I got little girls that I have to show uh uh the best side of who a man is, right? So I have three girls, not one but two or three, right? That's saying
yeah,
everything, right? So I'm blessed in that way. So I have a responsibility. Not only do I owe it to them, but I just owe it to whoever else I encounter because I never know how it might come
absolutely.
back.
And it's your job as their dad to show them how a young lady is supposed to be treated. You know what I'm saying? Because
Absolutely.
one thing I know,
Absolutely.
especially me, I'm definitely a girl. My dad is a girl dad, and that's still my best friend. We talk every single day. Is that a little girl's first love is always their dad,
That's dope.
always their dad. That's dope,
Or
and it
yeah,
teaches you
nothing
to be
like
more proactive. We think about our moves before we make them, right?
absolutely. Absolutely a fact.
So if oh, go ahead.
I
Sorry,
mean,
no, you go ahead.
mhm. No, no, no.
Okay,
I'm
but I
listening.
was going to ask you, kind of staying on the subject of kids. If there was a young artist from your area, from your block, from your neighborhood, who came to you and said, they were looking for some guidance of getting started in this music industry, what's one like hard truth that you would pass on to them?
uh, woo. Number one, ain't no friends in this business. It is only business. That's it. Don't
Mm.
take it personal.
That's one of the
That's
biggest
it.
facts. I struggled with that a little bit in the early stages because I thought everybody was supposed to be my friend, and I quickly learned it's the complete opposite.
It's all about
Yes.
the business,
Yes.
you know. And yeah, that's just really it. But that is the hardest thing to overcome when you realize that, because everybody comes with a handout and a smile and a handshake and everything looks rosy and is cool and they're gonna sell you the biggest and best item. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, you have to do it
Yes.
yourself. Nobody's not gonna I mean, you'd be great. I'm gonna say nobody, because you'd be grateful, like, to have somebody come swoop you off your feet and give you that push and put some money behind you. But for the most part, you got to put in that work. You have to be a learned person. You got to make your, have your own ideas, have your own ambition enough to get people to follow you. If you can get people to follow you, then you might catch a little spark, and then you move with that, and you market it yourself, and that's
No.
it. But no angels coming out the sky. None of these friendly guys that seem friendly are gonna be really friendly. So just be on the lookout for who's who.
Keep your head on a
That's it.
swivel, right? Yeah,
Word
'cause
up.
there's a lot of snakes in this business, and sadly, I hear about it often. Artists will come to me and they'll maybe send me a screenshot of an email they got, and they're like, "Is this real?" I'm like, "Nope, nope, nope, scam, scam, scam." I try to tell them, I'm like, no record label is
Man,
going to email you, the artist, and say, "Hey, come sit down with us, but you got to pay us $500." I'm like, it don't work like that.
don't you see the guys that are in high demand getting paid?
Exactly. If they
And the
truly
girls?
come to you, it's because they see the value in you. So why would they turn around and ask you for money? Like it makes zero sense. But sadly, some of these artists are so thirsty to get on that they fall for it, and then they find out it's a scam, and then they're pissed off.
You said it in a nutshell. The money grab is real, for
Most
sure.
definitely.
The money
So tell
grab.
us about your upcoming LP. Is it the 4 or 5 or the 45?
Yeah, the 4-5. It was just I went through a series of events, and like we were just talking about, trusting in the wrong people, not getting the proper guidance and direction in certain situations, and I put I put more of my energy into a situation that I was trying to build called um I won't even say what it's called, but it was the thing we were trying to put together, me and two other guys. We did a few bad distros, few bad deals. Things started looking real shady. I had a situation that looked a different way, but then after a series of bad business, a lot of my music came down, went up, came down, or just whatever. So at that point, I had a nice good distro with Sony. We were supposed to get like 140,000 radio stations, the bells and whistles, the marketing in Vietnam and all kind of stuff. And when things didn't pan out that way, it just kind of it set me back a little. Kind of, I felt like I was at
Yes.
square one. So me already running the gamut and being in the and taking the industry run with the song Federal Indictment, which we did the remix with Mano, and doing all of that and getting a lot of visibility and gaining knowledge panels, and you can Google me and stepping in kind of this different realm of music where I was just trying to, like, doing it from the basement, and able to and then I was able to be in certain rooms and next to certain people and get certain guidance. I felt like I was going toward the top of my game from where I was at that point. But then when I had the setback, it put me in a place where I was starting from scratch, and I'm calling it the 4-5 because it symbolizes Jordan when he came back
Mm.
to the game. Right. He bought because I was kind of out the loop for a while, and I kind of had to take a step back to kind of just revamp and refigure things out. And coming back I felt like now I'm coming back with that strength that he had to play the same way he played before, at a old, at a different time. So um that was
That's
my
dope.
reason for
A
that.
minor setback
Yeah.
for a major comeback, right?
Sure,
Yeah,
for
and it's
sure, for
like
sure.
anytime we endure that stuff in life, man, we just have to figure out ways to push through it because we got to understand we ain't the only one going through the craziness out here. Um, uh oh, his screen went black again, y'all. All we gotta do is get through his song. JC Rocker, are you still there? So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and run his song because it's being requested in the chat. JC Rocker said that she wants to hear the song, so we're gonna go ahead and run the song. I pretty much asked him the meat and potato of what I wanted to ask him. So the name of the record is called Go Viral. I did want to ask him some questions about the song, so we'll see if we can get him back, and then we'll stream the song. Y'all, I apologize. He's having some technical difficulties over there with his live stream. So I'm gonna go ahead and run the record, and maybe while the song is on, he'll be able to come back on. So I'll introduce it for him. It's his record called Go Viral, and we'll be back in just a minute. If you guys are rocking with the record, make sure y'all drop them fire emojis in the chat.
King. RDG Music Group, respected. When they go right, I go left.
Are you back with us?
Yes, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
good. That's okay. So I was gonna just run the bless your heart. I don't know what's going on. He keeps jumping ship on us, y'all. Just a quick tip, if you do live stream interviews, always be connected to Wi-Fi, because unfortunately stuff like this happens when you're not on Wi-Fi, because it takes a lot of bandwidth to live stream on YouTube and different platforms and stuff like that. So that's just a quick tip for anybody out there. Make sure you guys are connected to Wi-Fi. I always keep mine connected to Wi-Fi. Otherwise, my end would be doing the same thing. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the record, y'all.
King. RDG Music Group, respected. When they go right, I go left. King. Joannico, you a genius for this one, Juanito. Shake, bounce, break, shake, bounce, don't break. Love yourself even if they don't like you. Wanna be just like you, they can only try to. Baby, you a killer homicidal. Work that, make them hit TikTok, go viral. Work that, make them hit TikTok, go viral. Work that, make them hit TikTok, go viral. Baby, you a killer homicidal. Work that, make them hit TikTok, go viral. When I'm on that stage, they really engaged, they really amazed. I'm really a fave, I'm really a grade. She pretty and paid, she drinking her water and I feel like from minimum wage. From the BK at the home of the brave. Out in Times Square, ballin' like John Moran. Inside my city, you see make them hips go. Working like a motherfucker, twerking like a motherfucker, do it in TikTok. So your old nigga, put him in the pen zone. Jump into the rent low. Ways, schizo. Truly, that you blew it like a crypto. But I can't stay for a long time, cause I'm all about my coins. Crypto, they know my name, I don't ever need an intro. Your daddy, Annie, and Granny, and crypto. Every state, city, area, and zip code. You think you poppin' and you locked in, but I've been both. Love yourself even if they don't like you. Wanna be just like you, they can only try to. Baby, you a killer homicidal. Work that, make them hit TikTok, go viral. Work that, make them hit TikTok, go viral. Work that, make them hit TikTok, go viral. Baby, you a killer homicidal. Work that, make them hit TikTok, go viral. Renegade, swagging on out if you don't need a man. City rock. Hit him with the walls, seeing bands. Renegade, swagging on out if you don't need a man. City rock. Hit him with the walls, you see a band. She a savage on her own, she don't need a friend. Be more Bob Slaughter than her DNA. Konnichiwa in Korea, even in Japan. Shake it, you don't need a hand. I remember back then, chopping VIM. I remember taking trips on the Peter Pan. Best style flying, I don't need a land. Many try to, but they can't be, I am. Moving like a 6-speed. Cancels a baby girl cause her edges on wavy curl, she a mixed breed. Just turned 21, wanna have fun, so she party like she's 16. Making sure her money coming big green. Baby, living life to the extreme. Love yourself even if they don't like you. Wanna be just like you, they can only try to. Baby, you a killer homicidal. Work that, make them hit TikTok, go viral.
Go viral. I wanted to make sure we went ahead and played it because I want to make sure they had the opportunity to hear it. But what I did want to ask you a question. The record is called Go Viral. What does like going viral mean to you beyond like the social media hype?
Well, it's fairly a new concept, like, that I had to pick up on. With everything turning into that on social media. So like going viral to me is more like not just popularity, but just like being in that mode of of wanting to reach that place, like just being in that moment where the hype is and where it lives in the moment, not just after people view a post or see you do something wild and crazy or they hear crazy bar, whatever. It's just like actually living in the moment of the hype and the action, like in there.
Yes. No, that makes perfect sense. That was a great definition, a great analogy. So the
Yeah,
record is dope. Like to me, it included so many different elements in there, and I love that.
yeah.
Kind of had like that uh gosh, maybe a little bit of pop vibe to it, but it also had some like I'm New Yorkers call it being sturdy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the sturdiness, absolutely sturdy, really sturdy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I like to bend genres, you know. I like to break the rules, you know. Like music is limitless. It's what
Yes.
you want to do, you know. So you know, as I developed more, I got bored with just doing the standard play of music, three verses. Or now it's like songs are super short. It's like a hook, a verse, and a bridge type, you know, stuff. But like for the most part, I just like to I like to mix stuff and I like to blend stuff and I like to bring different elements. So I'm this kid from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. I wrote songs like Found You, which was like Afro beat with the Latin twist. I
Mhm.
made things like you know, I can write songs like Federal Indictment, which just talks about street life. I wrote this Go Viral song, which blended like a new wave of, you know, the hips movement and the TikTok, you know, era and more so, you know, I still kept the lyrics in there, and then we added some pop vibes to it too, of something classic, and then you know, and I think that brings the excitement to the music, because when you listen to the radio, if it sounds like something that's not, you know, the average song you hear on the radio, I think it's gonna add some excitement to, you know, what you like to hear.
No,
So
you're absolutely right. Yeah. Shout out to JC Rocker. She says she's rocking with the record. So, you know,
that's what's up. That's love. Appreciate it.
yes. Yeah, most definitely. And that's what it's all about. Like you said, bending them genres and bringing something new and fresh and different to the table. Cause like we hear a lot of the same old thing over and over and it becomes like boring and redundant. So listen, that was a great record. I feel like where I can see this record being, and if you have or haven't pushed it in this direction, I feel like it's something that we could hear in a film, in a movie. So,
That's crazy, Mystic. Not to cut you off. You know what? I'm That's like really not the first time I heard that about. I heard that about a few other records that, like, someone. I had a song called God's Gift, and as soon as it came on, someone told me that like this sounds like a movie score. Like it could be, and that's what I. That's really my aspiration. Make. I want to make music that's not only for the radio, not only for social media, but that is actually making an impact on the world over, that can be in a position to, that's why I like to go through different genres, because there's different crowds of people in different genres, so I want to
absolutely.
break through to every crowd, so being on a platform like that, especially with movies, is definitely do that.
What you and your team should look at trying to connect with some music supervisors, and I can point you to a couple of them. What they do is they scout for music to put in video games, films, commercials, etc. Like there's a young man out here in Atlanta. He's always posting that he's looking for music for the game Madden and other ones and stuff like that. So man, start submitting. The only thing is, to my knowledge, typically they want unreleased music. So for example, if you make a song that you feel like, man, this would fit dope in a video game, you got to submit it to the music supervisors before you actually release it to the platform, because they want like exclusive music. So something just to think about.
Yeah, I'll sync licensing.
Sync licensing. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
websites like taxi.com, but if you can connect directly with some music supervisors, you might get first dibs on a situation.
Ah, got you.
And that's money
Right.
while you sleep type money, right? That residual income.
That's different. That's a good placement. That's an annual salary for some people, but more than that,
That is
you know,
facts. That
one
is
good
facts, man.
check.
So I've had your Instagram scrolling across the bottom of the screen. For anybody that wants to follow you on any of your platforms, where is the best place for them to keep up with you at?
Absolutely. IG, definitely for the most part. That's my main hub. But yeah, you can catch me there, IG, on all socials, Facebook, TikTok. I don't discriminate. Yeah, pretty much that's it. And just follow the journey, you know. You can Google me if you want to, see what other work that I might have done. And just, yeah, definitely listen to the music and just rock with it. Come out
He's
to the show too.
beautiful.
We got a show at the Tap concert too. Or the Tap concert that's gonna be in New York on Delancey in August. So definitely be on the lookout. Watch it for the links in my bio. I'll put the link in my story to buy tickets and stuff like that. Yeah. Just rock
That's
with me.
dope. So that's going to be in August. What's the name of the venue again?
It's called the Tap Concert
Oh,
2025.
that's dope. That's super
Absolutely.
dope. Who do you want to give thanks to that's really been just supporting you wholeheartedly, unconditionally through your journey?
Um, Man. Well, of course now, Allura Music Management, my man HBB, Ron Mortiz, he's definitely been a supporting factor in things that I've been doing for the most part, and just the family, my loved ones, they know who they are. And that's really all it's been. It's been a rough road, it's been a long road because I had to do it this way. You take the short, you take the blue pill or the red pill, you know what I'm saying? I didn't go to any Diddy parties, so I don't know what happened with that. But
No baby
uh,
oil laying around.
so this is just it's just a little
Baby
light
oil,
support
Astroglide. It's like everywhere.
by the face.
Man, like
Yeah,
by the pallet. It's
serious.
like how much slip and slide do you need, my brother?
But it's not a crime.
It's not. It's just weird, but like it's weird as hell. Like
It is. It
I could,
is.
boy, that could be a whole nother topic. My thing is, I'm just gonna say this from a female perspective.
Yeah.
Fellas, don't ever try to use baby oil as a lubricant because that could cause a major infection for a woman. Because
Ooh.
there's scents and there's extra
Uh,
stuff inside of that
Stuff in
that
there.
if it gets into the woman's private area, that's an infection waiting to happen. No, don't use baby oil as a lubricant. Please go buy the Astroglide. And I'm not an advocate for them. I'm not a spokesperson for them. I'm just
That's the
speaking
other.
on all women's pH balance of the world. Don't use baby oil.
That's the other purple top. That's the
Yeah.
purple top that we didn't have in the hood, back in the days we was doing but that's the other purple top.
Yeah, big facts, big facts. Bro, listen, I love your
Right,
energy.
right.
You and your team are going to be out here in the 8. Definitely let me know so we can try to link it up in person.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's talk about a few things. Let's push it forward and see how we potentially get a bag. That's what I'm about.
Absolutely, because I started my radio career probably. Did we lose him?
Calling me, bro.
Are people calling you?
Shit.
JC Rocker said no baby oil for 2025. Listen, I know that's right. I know she feel me because we as women, we got to be careful with that. You good? You back with us?
Yeah, yeah, I'm back.
No, you good? That's fine. That's fine. We about to get up out of here in a minute anyway because I got another interview to jump on in like 4 minutes. But I was gonna say I've always had love for New York because when I started my radio journey like 13 years ago, Desert Storm Radio, owned by DJ Clue. Shout out to DJ Clue and the whole team. They were the first
Right.
one to give me a shot at radio, and I spent 3 years with them. And
Oh,
flew
oh.
up there, did a mansion party with Clue, and it was just like I'm forever grateful for Up Top for this Florida girl got a shot. If it wasn't for them, I don't feel like I would be doing a lot of the stuff I'm doing now because that's where I gained a lot of my notoriety in the radio world. So big shout out to New York, Up Top, Clue, the whole team, man, definitely. And shout out to you for being so dope. I appreciate you and your energy is top
Thank
tier.
you. Thank you. I appreciate you for saying that. You know, and your energy is just as that, you're in the right place. You know what I'm saying? So everything you did when you came out here and you were with Clue in them and the start you got, that was, whatever you got from that, I'm sure is well deserved. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
But
absolutely.
definitely, it's all about vibes and energy.
100%. Thank you, everybody, that tuned in tonight. JC Rocker, Chosen. Of course, your team was here. So, and if anybody missed this live, of course, it does stay permanently on the YouTube channel, so you can run that back. Go hit that subscribe button. Shameless plug. You know what I'm saying? And it's your girl, TampaMystic. I am Born King. We appreciate y'all. We up out of here, y'all.